Hi friends. So in this video we are going to see the uses of control statements and as well as different kinds of the control statements along with the methods and classes. Already we have seen these things. Okay, as a recap of classes and as well as the member functions, and then we are going to see about the string handling functions also. And if you are referencing the control statement for any of the programming language, some kind of the constructs are required. Suppose if I am designing a simple application, uh, that application requires some kind of the statements line by line. That is what you call the control statement, which runs the appropriate code one by one statement without any deviation. That is what you call the selection statement. So the selection statement allow the program to choose different parts of the execution based on the outcome of the expression. Suppose if I am working on the conditions, so based on that particular if, and based on the simple if and based on the else statement, the corresponding statements are getting executed. Iterative statement, the second kind of the control statements are nothing but the iteratives. Iteration in the sense, suppose if I am, until the condition is true, if I want to execute the same kind of the logic again and again, I can go with the iterative statement. Example, while statement, for loop, likewise. And the third kind of the statement is, suppose I can make use of the jump statements. These statements are nothing but the jump statement, like continue and break statements. If you refer this particular jump statement, enable your program to execute in a non-linear fashion. Rather than going with the linear kind of thing, you can go with the non-linear. Exclusively we'll see what exactly the selection. The selection statement allows the control to flow of the program's execution based upon the conditions only during the runtime. While executing the program, maybe depending on the if statement, based on the if else statement, or you can give if else if and as well as the switch statement also. So based on those particular conditions, if the condition is satisfied, then only it is going to run the if statement. If the condition is not satisfied, it is going to the else statement. Suppose if you are having the multiple state conditions, then you can go with the multiple if and as well as the multiple else. And corresponding to the switch statements, which is nothing but, suppose I am having some multiple cases, four cases I am having, I don't know which case I'm going to run at the execution of the program. In that particular case, I can go with the switch statement. And coming to the iterative statement, iteration means, friends, what exactly iteration? Iteration is nothing but a repetition of the same kind of the statements. So suppose if I'm taking one kind of the statements, and if I want to run the same kind of the statement, I can go with the iterative statements. And Java provides a while loop, do while loop, and as well as the first statement as a process of this particular iteration. And now coming to the third option, actually this is what you call the jump statement. We are having three different kinds of the jump statement. Break is nothing but, suppose if I am running a for loop, or if I am running any kind of the condition, break is nothing but completely it is coming out of that particular loop. It won't run that particular loop. If the condition is satisfied, break will execute and it completely terminate that particular loop, and it is coming out of the appropriate loop. Whereas continue is not like that. Continue, suppose if I equal to 5, if I am giving as continue, it skips that particular only that particular counter, it moves to the, it start executing the next value. Okay, that is a continue. So there is a distinction, friends. Break completely ends the appropriate loop, whereas continue skips the current loop and it is move to the next iteration or next counter. And return value in general, suppose while running the functions and as well as some kind of the application, if I want to return some empty statements, then I can go with the return statement. Okay, so three different statements: selection, if else, multiple if, and as well as the switch, iteration, while, do while, and as well as the first statement, and jump statement. We are having break, continue, and as well as the return statements. And methods and classes, these things already we have seen in the previous example, friends. But again, the class is a template and as well as the user defined data type, we can say. And a method, which is nothing but responsibilities, I like, so the method contains some kind of the code. And whenever you want to run this particular code, suppose here println is nothing but a method. And if you are referencing first class, this is a class name, likewise. And now we will see some other example, friends. This example I can explain with you in the Eclipse mode. So let me move to the Eclipse, friends. Now if you are referencing this particular Eclipse, I'm showing this particular thing. So I'm having one method called msg1 with the empty parameters, and in msg2 I had given some kind of the string. So and now what I'm doing is this return 5. Actually I am taking one member, and I am assigning this particular member as this particular return 5 is having some return value. I am storing that value in this particular notation, and thereafter square function I am using, and even this particular square also is having some kind of the return value. I am storing this in the integer. Okay, I'm storing that particular thing. And now if you are referencing the message one, how you define this message one is just I am printing a message. And if you are referencing message 2, I am giving the message 2 as the parameter. Just this particular whatever the word I am given, it is copied to this particular string and it is going to output that. And in the third one, actually return 5, and I am not taking any parameter, but I am returning value 5. Okay, and in the next thing, square of 5. So just I entered this particular 5 as this y value, and it is going to return value, and that value we are storing in z. So very simple, friends. Whatever the methods I am having, these particular methods I am calling, and here I am defining those methods, and message 1 is not returning any value. That's what I have put this void, and message 2 also, but it is taking some arguments, so that we had given this particular argument. And but the third one, it is returning some value, and fourth one is also returning some value. Now if you try to execute this particular value, just it is going to give some outcomes. So as first parameter only, it is system.out.println we have written in, and this particular parameter is taken by the second method message 2, and third one is nothing but whatever the value you are given, that value is getting printed, return value. And finally we are squaring that taken value into the 25. Okay, so likewise you can manage this particular functionality. And one more important aspect I want to cover in this session is constants, friends. Okay, and what do you mean by constant in general? Constant is nothing but, okay, whatever the value I want to keep preserve, I want without any change, I want to maintain that value, I can take that value as a constant in general, friends. Make sure that while using this particular constant, that constant must be declared before the main function. Okay, and one more important thing is that particular constant must be declared as static. We are having some kind of the knowledge with in the previous recording, friends. Actually that particular static allows us whatever the latest value I'm having, that value can be observed as the value for all the remaining objects also. And while working with the constants also, static is playing a vital role. Just we are making use of that particular static in front of this particular final. Now we have declared a width and as well as the height as constants. And one more important thing is there, friends, some predefined constants are there in Java. So math.py is also one constant, and we are going to print these particular things. Now let us run this particular code. Automatically it gives whatever the value I'm having. Pi value we are not mentioned, but still it is fetched 3.14 something like that. And width value, height value we have mentioned, so it has printed likewise. Okay, and here I am stopping the video, friends, and just thereafter we'll start with the next concept, like inheritance, interfaces, abstract classes, likewise very interesting aspects we are going to see. Okay, thank you.